In this video, we are going to study one example to test hypothesis about the mean of two populations. Refer to the study of obese people on a low-fat diet and a regular diet presented in the previous example. Another way to compare the means weight losses for the two different diets is to conduct a test of hypothesis. Suppose we want to determine if the low-fat diet is more effective than the regular diet. We use the information on the SPSS printout showing the figure 9.2 to conduct the test hypothesis at alpha 0.05%. Remember, alpha is the type 1 error, is the significant level, is the risk that this researcher is willing to take to make a mistake type 1. 0.05 is type 1 error. Probability to reject the null hypothesis when the null hypothesis is true. Suppose that is the population of all obese people that are under the new diet or the low-fat diet, and this is the all obese people that are under a regular diet, but they are taking the same amount of food. For each people here, we are going in 3 weeks, we are going to measure the amount of weight that they lose, and the average of all these losses will be mu1, and the average of all weight losses in the regular diet will be mu2. If this diet is effective, this average should be greater than this. This amount of pound that people weight lose, must be greater than this other. That is the alternative hypothesis. That is the objective in this research. And we want to compare these two using a hypothesis test. We can assume that these two means are equal because the null hypothesis always contains the equal, and the alternative hypothesis is our suspicion. The new diet makes the average of weight losses is bigger than regular diet. That is the objective in this study. Our objective in this study will be the mu1 is bigger than mu2. The mean weight loss for the population 1 under the low diet will be bigger than the second mean weight loss. That is the sample that we took from population 1. That is the sample. 100 people is a big sample, and I took 100 obese people from a regular diet. Then I will compute from these two samples the mean and the standard deviation, and the difference between these two means will be used to approach the difference between the two populations. And we can use this standard deviation to substitute the true population standard deviation in the formula. That is the printout of SPSS, and this is the printout in StatCrunch. You can do this problem in seconds. You need to input the data. You can send the data automatically to StatCrunch, and in less than 5 seconds, you can obtain all of these answers. You can obtain the z-score of my evidence. This is the p-value of my evidence. If this p-value is too small, we can reject the null hypothesis because it's too small. This z-score is far away from the center. 3 standard deviation to the right is far away from the center. Also, we have here the difference between the two means. It's easy, 5 seconds. But you need to show your work. Let's do it. And you can depart from this to show your work. Okay. Step number 1, state the null and the alternative hypothesis. What is the null hypothesis? The new diet and the regular diet have the same effect, but the new diet, there is no change. There is no difference between these two means. That is the null hypothesis. The alternative hypothesis is the mean of the population 1 is greater than the mean of the population 2. The mean of weight losses. Actually, we can transform our objective. If we remember in algebra, we can subtract from each member mu sub 2, and when I subtract mu sub 2 from here, I obtain 0. Then that is my alternative hypothesis, and this is my null hypothesis. That null hypothesis could be written as mu1 is equal to mu2. It's a right test because the alternative hypothesis have the greater than symbol. Second step, let's verify all requirements. Because we are going to use normal distribution, we need to verify that my sample size are bigger than 30. Of course, we have 100 and 100. And also, the two samples were randomly selected in an independent manner from the two populations. These two conditions are very important to use normal distribution. Let's go to the step number 3. Let's construct our rejection region. How many information do we need to construct my rejection region? First of all, we need alpha, and alpha was given, was 5%. What else? What is the mathematical model that we are using in this case? Normal distribution. We have to use Z distribution, Z-score. And another information, how many critical value do we need and where? If we are doing a right-tail test, we need only one critical value on the right. If we are doing a two-tail test, we need two critical value on both sides. In this case, because it's a right-tail test, we need only one critical value on the right. That is our reference point. How can we find this reference value, this critical value? In StatCrunch, you can go to Stat. In Stat, you can go to Calculator. And after that, you can go to Normal Distribution. Because it's a right-tail test, you have to work with a standard. It's only one side. Then you want to find what is the corresponding critical value such that 5% point alpha is equal, this tail is 0.05. The researcher expects to select one sample located in this area. But if he selects one sample in this tail, he will reject the null hypothesis. And he don't want to make this mistake when the null hypothesis is true. Okay, then we need to find this critical value. And is given alpha. Alpha is this tail on the right, okay? Then we need to input this tail here in this box here, in this box. We need to input the tail. And here we need to input greater than, and here, when we click compute, let's do it. That is the first information that we need to input. This tail is 5%, 0.05. And we need to find the Z-score such that the probability to get a value greater than this point should be 0.05%. When we click compute, we will obtain this critical value, 1.65. That is my critical value. That is my reference point. Then how can we obtain the same critical value using table? To show your work using table, not technology. You can use technology to draw this picture because to show your work, you need to draw the bell shape because this critical value is on the right. We have to use the positive Z-score table. And in the positive Z-score table, remember all values inside this table represent probability to the left. And because alpha is the area of probability in this tail, the probability to the left in this case should be 0.95. Then that is the value that we need to find in the table, 0.95, because all value in the table have 4 decimal is 0.9500. That is the number that we need to find in the table. Then this number is not in the table because the table is incomplete. The number is between these two numbers because it's exactly in the middle. We need to obtain the critical value for both. Is 1.64 for the first one and 1.65 for the second one. Then the corresponding Z-score for this probability to the left, because it's in the middle, I will obtain the average between this Z-score and this Z-score. Then let's find the average. The average is 1.645. That agree with this result. If we round this value, we will obtain 1.645. My rejection region will be all Z-score or test statistic that fall beyond 1.645. If I got a test statistic bigger than 1.645, I will reject the assumption. That is the rejection region. My test statistic is greater than 1.645, I will reject the null. Then step number 4, let's compute our test statistic. My test statistic is the Z-score because we are using a normal distribution as our mathematical model. We want to find the difference between these two means, low diet and regular diet. We assume that the difference between two means is 0. Then the difference in my assumption should be equal 0. This is the difference. Remember, when we deal with test statistics using only one population, we write this test statistic in the way X bar minus the mean under the assumption in the null hypothesis divided by the standard deviation over square root of n. But that is similar here with two populations. the assumption for the two mean of the population is that they are equal. Then the assumption is 0. Then when we substitute this, and we substitute the standard deviation of all possible difference, the variance is equal to the sum of the two variants, we can use the print out or the summary statistic when we have the mean for both population and the standard deviation for both population, and we can write the test statistic in this way. Remember that is the formula. This is the formula for the standard deviation of all mean difference, samples mean difference. We can obtain this value from the summary statistic and this value from the summary statistic. We don't have the population standard deviation, but because my sample size is very big, we can substitute this standard deviation for the population standard deviation. Then we do all substitutions and we obtain that the Z-score of my evidence. Listen, all of this data is my evidence from 2 samples. Then we summarize this evidence in this score. This score tells me my evidence fall 3 standard deviation from my expectation. What is my expectation? My assumption. My assumption is the difference of the mean is equal 0. Then my evidence depart from this assumption, this quantity, 3 standard deviation to the right. Then we can reach our conclusion because my critical value was this, my reference point using alpha 5% is this, and my evidence condensed in one score is this one. Then I can conclude that my evidence falls far away from the center. In the center, we have the assumption. The true mean are equal. The difference is 0. When we obtain evidence far away from the center, we have enough evidence. When we obtain evidence close to the center, we have insufficient evidence. In this case, we have enough evidence to reject the null hypothesis and to support the alternative. The alternative state that the mean weight losses under low-fat diet, the mean weight losses is bigger than in regular diet. That is the conclusion. We support that. The new diet is effective. The C-value clearly falls into the reaction region. Therefore, the samples provide sufficient evidence at alpha 0.5% for dietitian to conclude that the mean weight losses for the 2 diets differ. And actually, we can state that it is effective. And we have done 2 comparisons using confidence interval of the difference and hypothesis test about the mean of this population mean. Actually, in the previous exercise, when we did confidence interval, we obtained this confidence interval for the difference. Actually, the difference between mu1 and mu2 is a positive number. This positive number is one number in this interval. For example, the mean weight losses could be 10 pounds, in the other could be 8 pounds. What is the difference? Is 2 pounds. Because the difference is positive, we can state that 10 is bigger than A 2 units. If we switch the position of A and 10, and we do A minus 10, the answer is -2, then we can state that A is smaller than 10, 2 units, because it's negative. In general, if mu sub 1 minus mu sub 2 is a positive number or bigger than 0, we can conclude that mu sub 1 is bigger than mu sub 2. That is the conclusion that we can obtain from the hypothesis test. We can conclude that the mean weight losses of the first group is bigger than the mean weight losses of the second group. But in this particular example, the confidence interval gives us more information, because the confidence interval not only tells us that the first value is bigger than the second. In our example, we obtain a confidence interval for the difference between mu1 and mu2 is between 0.70 and 3.12, positive number. That implies that the first value is bigger than the second, but also this information tell us that the first mean is bigger than the second at least 0.7 unit, but no more than 3.12 unit. Then in this particular case, the confidence interval tell us how large the difference is. However, we cannot use always confidence interval to test hypothesis. We can use confidence interval to test hypothesis when the alternative hypothesis is two-tail test. However, when it's one-tail test, it's possible that the conclusion using a confidence interval and hypothesis test could be different.